As long as we can remember, cryptocurrencies have been surrounded by intrigues and drama. Whether it's Bitcoin, Ethereum, or some kind of other unknown token, crypto was always writing its own story. While some events seem to be insignificant, others have changed the crypto universe forever. Today, we are taking a look at one of those events, the Terra Luna Crash, a story of how a series of circumstances led to a loss of $45 billion in only 72 hours. So let's dive right into it. This is the founder of Terra Luna, DO KWON, a 32-year-old father that is currently facing at least 5 different trials in 2 countries. But what is he even guilty of? In 2018, DO KWON and his co-founders started to build the Terra Luna ecosystem. At the time of its dramatic failure, over $45 billion were locked into the system, making it one of the most popular crypto projects at that time. Stablecoins are built to stay at a certain price of the correlated currency. So 1 UST, which is Terra's stablecoin bond to the US dollar, should always be worth exactly $1. While Bitcoin and a good amount of other tokens are highly volatile and constantly fluctuating in price, stablecoins are a safe haven for those who want some money in the crypto ecosystem, but are not willing to accept the constant ups and downs. There is only one problem with collateralized stablecoins: they are not very decentralized. Cryptocurrencies use blockchain technology to be as trustless as possible. But big stablecoin providers like USDT or USDC are large companies with total control over their token. This turns them into centralized players with a lot of power, which goes against the decentralized idea of cryptocurrencies. Terra Luna Labs, the company behind Terra Luna, wanted to change that. They tried to build a system that has a decentralized governance approach and is therefore not depending on a single centralized entity. They've created a variety of stablecoins intended to power the next generation of payments. The most prominent one is called UST, which will play a significant role in the next few minutes. To ensure that 1 UST always maintains its value at 1 USD, they utilize a special algorithm to keep UST stable. This is why stablecoins they've developed are referred to as algorithmic stablecoins. The algorithm involves a bit of basic economic theory, and it's essential to understand that there is a second token called Luna, powering the entire Terra ecosystem, which is not a stablecoin. Whenever the price of UST goes above $1, losing its peg on the positive side, the total supply of UST needs to increase to bring the token's price back down to exactly $1. To increase the supply of UST in such a case, anyone holding Luna had the option to exchange $1 worth of Luna for 1 UST. Essentially, this action creates free money, since the UST just minted is worth slightly more than $1, allowing you to sell it for profit on the open market. On the other hand, if the price would drop below $1, the total supply of UST needs to decrease. In such a case, you could always mint $1 worth of Luna for 1 UST, which at this point in time is worth less than $1, resulting in a profit. As there are always enough people that want to take a profit, in both directions, the mechanism brings back UST to $1. This system is proved to be highly functional for an extended period. In fact, it was one of the most successful crypto projects of all time. Hundreds of protocols were built upon Terra, and one in particular named Anchor gained immense popularity. This was due to the ability to earn a 20% interest on your tokens, effectively turning it into a savings account with an interest rate that was previously unavailable in traditional finance for a very long period of time. To achieve such a high interest rate, the project approached large token holders, asking if they would be willing to forego their interest in exchange for influence on the company's operations. While many major holders agreed, the business model seemed precarious, as several community efforts were made to reform this type of interest rate. In the end, it appeared to be more of a marketing move that constantly brought in new people. Terra's project was not the first algorithmic stablecoin ever created. In fact, 2 very famous projects had previously died to one important phenomenon: the death spiral. The death spiral is the reason why some people think that the concept of algorithmic stablecoins will never fully work. While in theory, everything should be working just fine, in practice, there's one malfunction in the system: human emotion. The spiral of death is triggered when the price of a stablecoin falls below $1 in a very bad market sentiment, where the price of the ecosystem token, in this case Luna, is already extremely low. In such a case, a chain reaction is triggered, one that has the potential to kill the project as the ecosystem coin goes to zero. We're now getting close to breaking down the events, and I can already promise you that you will see the mechanism in action very soon, so I don't want to spoil you too much at that point.
It's at 76 now. I don't know. It seems like there's a very real possibility this is going right back up to $1.
On Terra, whenever you minted or burned UST, you had to pay a very small fee in Luna, called Seigniorage Fee, that directly went into the community treasury. Over time, the amount of Luna in the treasury had grown to an estimated amount of around $4.5 billion. In November 2021, the Terra community voted to burn all these $4.5 billion worth of Luna tokens, swapping all of it for UST. Why? It looks like everyone holding Luna wanted to increase Luna's price. Burning $4.5 billion worth of Luna was the easiest way to decrease the supply, naturally increasing Luna's price. In retrospect, this was a huge mistake. You will see why in a second. A few months before, in May 2021, during a crypto crash, the price of UST fell significantly below its $1 peg for about 1 week, until it recovered just fine using the algorithm that I explained earlier. It was this crypto crash that made the Terra team seriously worried about a potential death spiral for the very first time. After almost another year of working just fine, in January 2022, shortly after the burn of the 4.5 billion Luna tokens, a few very smart market participants figured out a scheme to gain a huge amount of interest on the Abracadabra protocol, using Anchor's AUST token as collateral to get more UST, using this UST to get more AUST, to deposit more UST into the Abracadabra protocol, and so on until you get a lot of yield. This was obviously a very unsustainable and risky strategy, as UST only had to depeg slightly to make the whole system fall apart. Moreover, it was discovered that one of the people working closely with the developers of the platform Abracadabra protocol was a co-founder of the failed crypto exchange Quadriga CX. This platform collapsed under weird circumstances, as the other co-founder died a mysterious death while on holiday in India. Every token that had a connection to the Abracadabra protocol experienced some sell pressure, making UST fall slightly on its peg again in January 2022. As Terra had expanded to almost any other major blockchain just shortly before with the Columbus 5 update, they now realized the risk of having coins on so many different blockchains. In response to that, Terra Luna Labs decided to found the Luna Foundation Guard in January 2022, which is a non-profit organization that has the main purpose of protecting the peg of UST in such events. At this point, the community proposal to expand UST to other chains had caused some serious risk to the Terra ecosystem. The Luna Foundation Guard planned to cover 20% of the UST supply with Bitcoin. That way, in another DPEG event, people could just trade their UST for around $1 worth of Bitcoin instead of minting Luna, implying that people would prefer to get Bitcoin instead of Luna, preventing a potential death spiral. In the first month, the Luna Foundation Guard raised around $1 billion through over-the-counter sales of their Luna token. Then, they used this money to buy Bitcoin. In March, Terra Luna Labs donated an additional $1.1 billion to the LFG to buy even more Bitcoin, leaving a hole of only around $1 billion in capital to reach the goal of 20% backed tokens. Shortly afterwards, DO KWON established the objective of gradually accumulating $10 billion worth of Bitcoin to build the reserves, with the aim of covering the $7 billion shortfall over time using the newly generated Seigniorage Fees. Had the community proposal to burn $4.5 billion worth of Luna not been approved, they would have had the opportunity to acquire a significantly larger amount of Bitcoin at that juncture. They also plan to buy every token as a backup that they support in their ecosystem. But maybe it was already too late. It's Saturday, the 7th of May 2022. The crypto space has been suffering for a few weeks already, as Bitcoin has dropped by over 50% of its all-time high. On this day, the Terra Luna team is preparing to withdraw around $150 million UST from a trading pool on Curve Finance, in preparation to migrate it into the new 4 pool that DO KWON wants to create. At 5:57 PM, they execute their plan and withdraw the UST from the liquidity pool. Removing such a significant amount of assets from an otherwise deep liquidity pool makes the assets inside the pool a lot more volatile. 13 minutes after the withdrawal, an unknown whale took advantage of the arbitrage opportunity and sold around 85 million UST for 85 million USDC on Curve Finance. Another trader sold at least 75 million UST for USDC as well, as shown in the infographic. Pools on Curve Finance calculate the price of asset pairs based on the supply ratio. As there is now 150 million imbalance in the pool, the price of UST starts to lose its peg and falls below $1. There's speculation that another 200 million worth of UST were sold on Binance. Although some people swear it happened, it can't be proven. Due to the immense sell pressure, UST now lost its peg, and institutional investors are starting to withdraw a massive amount of UST from Anchor Protocol as an attempt to de-risk their portfolio. In fact, 9 out of 14 billion US dollar worth of UST have been withdrawn from the Anchor protocol in just 2 days. More and more people are trying to exit the Terra Luna ecosystem, and there are only 2 ways to do so. Number 1, selling the UST with a loss at the current price of under $1. Number 2, burning 1 UST for $1 worth of Luna, which you have to sell instantly to get your money out again. As the price of UST drops more and more, the LFG is making attempts to repack the token, loaning over $750 million worth of Bitcoin to big market makers. But it's simply not enough. The death spiral had begun. Every second, hundreds of people burn their UST for $1 worth of Luna to exit the ecosystem, which causes Luna to drop in price more and more. After only 3 days, Luna was already down 60%. UST lost its peg to 0.3 cents at this point. And then, it happened. The second the market cap of UST was larger than the market cap of Luna, Luna was doomed to go to zero. As Luna's price is now so low, the network's security is in danger. A low price means potential attackers can manipulate government proposals, and malicious actors can become a validator. Terra's validators agree to hold the chain for a while. There is no other option left. After the restart, the chaos continues, and Luna's price is still in free fall. They hold and restart the chain for a second time, this time with the burning mechanism disabled. But it's over. Even though the LFG sold 80,000 Bitcoin in an attempt to save the chain, it was not enough. Terra is dead. But who's behind all this? No one knows who swept the 85 million on Curve Finance. There is speculation about an insider at Terra who wanted to trigger the death spiral on purpose, as the timing of the initial swap was too good to be random. Some even say the attacker shorted Bitcoin, knowing that the LFG has to dump all their Bitcoin on the open market. This is all speculation, as the whole story could just be a whale taking an arbitrage opportunity after seeing the Curve liquidity pool unbalanced. If it was a planned attack, it's very likely it came from traditional finance, as almost everyone in crypto, big or small, had exposure to the Terra ecosystem in some way or another, and they would have shot themselves in their own foot with such an attack. There are a lot of different other theories of what could have happened, from politicians mentioning the collapse only a few days after it happened, to the government being behind all this, as Terra was about to build a decentralized stablecoin system that became a threat for the US dollar. I don't want to mention that speculation here, as it is impossible to know for sure what happened. So, where is Do KWON? Shortly after the collapse, he left Singapore for what is now to be known as Montenegro. South Korea was invalidating his passport. In an attempt to fly to Dubai, he was arrested by the police of Montenegro, as he was trying to fly with fake Costa Rican documents. He went to jail in Montenegro for a couple of months, and is now planned to be extradited to the United States. He now has to deal with 5 different court proceedings, including security fraud, commodities fraud, wire fraud, and conspiracy. Also, there is class action from investors in Korea and the USA, and Korea wants 100 million in taxes. Also, KBS News reported that KWON had sent $7 million to a law firm prior to the collapse of Terra. Also, according to the South Korean Special Prosecution Office, KWON was found to have withdrawn approximately 35 million worth of cash even after having been arrested in Montenegro. So, is he guilty? That's a very hard question. It can only be answered from my personal view. The following sentences are just my own opinion. For me, it's important to take at least some responsibility on oneself. We all knew that algorithmic stablecoins never worked before, and even if you didn't at that time, you probably knew that crypto is still a developing high-risk environment, where you should spend some time doing extra research on everything you are investing in. It is absolutely logical that the investors and the SEC are charging Do KWON with multiple counts now, as they try to get as much money back as possible. The SEC has a big interest in protecting consumers' money, and also has the quest to protect the influence of the USD in the world. Do KWON seemed to underestimate the risk of a death spiral, and hasn't taken enough precautions to prevent it from happening. He also behaved like a child on Twitter, showing arrogant and greedy behavior while trying to expand his power, which might have contributed to his downfall. In the end, it all comes down to the concept of algorithmic stablecoins. They are simply not working as soon as human emotions are involved, and are also not really backed by anything but trust. What do you think? You think he's guilty? Or is he not guilty? Just let me know in the comments.